Hey, Nightcap fans, we are back. I know that I've been gone for a while, but I promise I'm ready to talk about these awesome episodes that are coming up. Stay tuned after that opening.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
So, as you can see, this is a different theme song today because we had a really awesome guest, Wendy Williams, on the show. But welcome to the Nightcap After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We're missing our third compadre, but she will be back for the season finale next week. But I am your host, Alexis Torres. You can find me all over social media, and all Alexis Torres are sold at atorres890. Thank you, Emma Fife, for that awesome saying.
I can buy an A Torres?
You can.
And Alexis Torres are real?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm going shopping tonight.
But I can never be the AKA Golden Boy because you are number one only.
Thank you. You can find me on Twitter, of course, aka Golden Boy, and website chrisvalentine.la. And I want to get on Wendy Williams. That's my next talk show. I want to book it. I love this music.
When does she film in New York or
She
here?
films in New York for
That's
sure.
why.
So you just do the red, take the plane over and do the red eye coming back. Everybody does it.
Do it.
But everybody on this show is in New York, and we talked about season 2 already being picked up before, and I know but all the stars are right from New York, so it seems like an easy thing to film and do and knock out. It's a little different from a lot of the shows that I do here at AFTERBUZZ. It's a totally different crowd, but it's been a pretty good season. We only have the finales next week,
I know, I
right?
can't believe that the finale is already here. I feel like we just started, but we are covering 2 episodes because we didn't do an episode last week because of the holidays and
I have been covering for you, girl, for so long.
I know.
Lead hosting 2 episodes.
I'm so proud of you.
And shout out to Haley. Sorry she can't be with us tonight, but she'll be back next week.
Yeah,
like you said.
she's not feeling too well, so send her your love at Haley O'Connor, I believe.
Haley with 2 Y's,
Yes.
or if you don't do it,
You're not too wise.
There you go.
Yeah, it is. But we're covering 2 episodes. We're covering episode 8 and episode 9, IBS ISIS, and Go Fund Yourself.
Yes.
Definitely in that second section, or maybe, yeah, that's right. I'm definitely in that same boat because I do have a GoFundMe happening right now.
You do tell.
Yeah.
Do tell.
We'll talk about it after when we get to episode 9. Let's go through episode 8 real quick. So episode 8 was IBS ISIS, which I was like, that's a weird title to have, but we had Ali Wentworth, who plays Stacy, her husband, actually, George
Stephanopoulos. I did not know this.
Yeah, they
have
3 kids together. I think their
So he
oldest is like a teenager. Oh yeah, apparently so. Or just really loves Stacy.
I remember her in the days when he and Clinton, Bill Clinton, were starting out. I think they went to the same school. They were all together, and they've been pals forever. And then he got that job at ABC, which was great. I enjoyed usually watching him doing the presidential election coverages, and he seems to always come back for that. I guess he's working.
It's Good Morning America or something like that.
It's Good Morning America,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So he's still with ABC.
Oh my gosh, you should see the interview when she comes on to talk about Nightcap on his show with the rest of the group, because they know her because of the fact that they're married and they've been together for so long. I can't remember how many years they've been together, but it's quite a bit because they have a 15 or 16-year-old daughter and they have 2 kids after that. Yeah, they're adorable together. It's really funny.
And that's filmed in New York too, so
yeah,
makes sense.
I'm like, I want to go.
It's a small family. We'll send you.
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, listen, Wendy, if you're watching, we will both come. I will do your show anytime.
Please. Mostly just be like, girl. But obviously, as the title says, someone obviously has IBS, and it's sadly enough, it's Stacy. She's having a terrible IBS day. That's how she put it.
We thank you, production, for adding those sound effects throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
You knew what I was going to say before I say it. Listen, I want to say something. You know everything that's going to happen before it happens. You are so fast.
That's not true.
No, like they'll be setting something up and you'll get it before the joke comes. Like you'll know it's coming. You are so fast.
I don't know.
I love watching the show with you.
Oh my God. Like when we get into go fund yourself, I was sitting there you can ask Chris, I was sitting there just like banging my head on the table because it was just so awkward.
I liked it a little better, I have to be honest, than episode 8. I mean,
I felt
it was
like cut and dry.
It was too much out of the entire season. Just to be honest, my personal preference was I did not like.
Space.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, go for it.
I did not care for episode 8. I'm just gonna put that out there. Yeah. Out of the entire season, of course we haven't seen the finale yet. I'm sure it's gonna be fabulous.
It's gonna be fabulous.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of guest stars, but the camera was so close up
poor
on
Stacey, or
Ali
Ali
Wentworth's face. I mean, really, they could have pulled the camera back a little bit.
They just really wanted you to feel her IBS.
Oh my gosh, she looked like she was really suffering, and then those horrible sound effects.
I don't know.
Of it going through her stomach and then coming out, and it was just like they added it through the whole.
Just you mentioning it was gross. I can hear it in my head.
It was gross, and so I don't know.
Sounds. But yeah, like I said, cut and dry. The episode, we don't really have to go in too much into it because the fact that it's literally just Stacey suffering and she can't do her work because she has IBS and everyone just keeps coming into the bathroom. I did like Mario Vitale because I do like him.
Yeah.
I don't have like a Mondo crush like Stacey does, but I do love him. I've always heard he's very nice. He's very lovable and you know approachable and things like that. So I like that he was able to pretty much just play himself. Just the fact that
he has a talent, and he did cook on the show. And the first opening scene is him offering goat head soup to Stacey. I mean, it was so funny though when he said it's really great for collagen. Now see, that's something that makes sense to me. Okay, that would be a positive, but I mean, she just came out of the bathroom, literally just came out of the bathroom, and he force feeds her a spoon, and then you immediately hear the sound of her going through her stomach. So that was like, so she's
like waddled to the door,
right back to the bathroom.
Girl.
I know.
And then we had Penny freaking out. This is the only thing I didn't like about the episode was this whole section was Penny thinking that she got recruited by ISIS.
Oh, I know. And she stayed in character like everybody does on the show throughout the whole thing. But I felt like she mentioned ISIS too many times. It was like over and over and over and over and over.
Smack you in the face with it.
She did her job and she stayed in character, but it was just too much of hearing that word. That was another thing.
They were really trying to push on it, and it was just, I think that's what made it uncomfortable, because we were like, all right. But I did like George in this, where he was just so calm, cool, and collected. And he's like, I don't think that's how that works, but I mean, you know, it could be a corporation that you'd want to work for. And I was like, what's happening?
Well, when the makeup artist came in, and the first thing he says to George is, "You look like somebody I know from Crunch Fitness or something," and I'm like, I immediately felt the same way. Like, doesn't he look like I guess you wouldn't know, but kind of.
I don't go to the gym.
Doesn't he look like the creepy guy in the steam room? And I'm like, yes,
he does look exactly like that. But he looks good for his age, I feel.
He looks great. He's got a full head of hair.
Right? Salt and pepper and everything. He looks good. I heard, according to Ali in an interview, apparently he does work out. I don't know about the steam room, but I feel you on that one. I'm like, George, he would be that guy.
Yeah, nothing against you. You're an extremely likable person. So there, leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I've always wanted to meet them. I heard they're very nice together. And it's funny because the fact that she's a comedian and she's a writer and a director, Ali Wentworth. So I've heard that's the way that she acts is not like she's acting. That's just her personality.
Yeah, you'd wonder, because he's into politics. It's like completely different than comedy.
But
in a way,
I love it
right?
because they're complete opposites and they're adorable, like absolutely adorable together. Like you can ask anybody, they're always like, "Oh, this couple is cute," and they're just like, it's just like gag me with a giant ladle, like kind of cute.
And they are in a way, they are both in show business. I mean, let's face it. Good Morning America is all about entertainment too.
You know, but anyway, but pretty much everybody keeps coming into the bathroom. Penny. I couldn't remember for the life of me what the actual company name was.
Al-Amidadi, there's something.
Something like that. And I was trying to figure out if it was like an actual company that she was just saying incorrectly.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. And then when she did the accent, I thought that was so funny.
Like she couldn't do it. She couldn't like add the emphasis where it needed to go, and it was just really weird. So like maybe
it was a real company, maybe it wasn't, but I do think a lot of Middle Eastern companies are funding a lot of the A-list movies, the feature films. If you watch the credits now, they are getting involved. So I kind of bought the whole thing in a way. I could see, where they want to do more TV production.
Yeah. I don't see any problem with it. Yeah. I thought it was great. And then the C story, because there's an A, B, and C story every single time we do a Nightcap episode. The C story was not really that memorable. It was a female comedian who I can't even remember her name off the top of my head right now, because I couldn't spell it, and my spell check kept changing it in my notes. So I apologize for that wonderful woman.
I wrote it down. It's Anapa.
Is it?
Yeah, Aparna.
Oof, way off.
Aparna. I wasn't even going to write down the last name. I'm like, I have time to get the first name down.
It was rough. It was a long name, but she was really funny. I liked her. It's just it sucked that her segment wasn't substantial. So pretty much she was there to do her segment, and her 2-week-old boyfriend, like literally, like they've only been together for 2 weeks, wanted to propose to her on live television. No. even with my fiance who I've been with for years and we've been friends for years, if he did that, I would be really upset. Not like in like, oh, I hate you and I'm gonna dump you.
Production would love it, though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? They'd be like, oh my god, how cute. But like me personally, because I'm a very reserved person, which is weird, because I'm like, hey, look at me, I'm on a computer. I'm a very private person. So even when he proposed to me in Disneyland, I was like freaking out. Yeah.
Wow, that was a public place.
Yes.
Where was it?
Really
in front of the
awkward.
castle?
Yep.
It was in front of the castle? Oh, how perfect.
It was nice. It was just that
Did
like.
you film and get pictures?
Yes, I have plenty.
So
on
much
there.
for private, girl.
Yeah, all my friends posted about it, and I did one picture. And that was it.
You were with
like,
friends? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They came along, and that's how I knew that it was happening, was because they showed up.
Oh.
They were like, okay, yeah, you guys take a picture in front of the castle.
Oh, you knew it. Yeah, I told you. She knows what's coming. You cannot get anything faster.
But like, if you were there, you would have been like,
you would have
clearly.
said something's up.
Like seriously, because they were like, okay, let's get some food, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, okay, want to ride some more rides? And they're like, no, let's go take pictures in front of the castle. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, fine, let's go.
You saw it coming.
I'm like, we all live here. Like, why do we need to? Whatever, sure.
Did you fix your hair and everything before?
No, I was in a tank top. I was sweaty. It was
my gosh.
August. I was not ready. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So we stand in front of the castle, and I'm taking a picture with my now fiance, and they were just standing. I'm like, all right, let's take a group picture. Come on in. And they're just like,
Yeah.
And I was like, what's happening? And then I'm not going to get into it. We can talk about it later.
I just felt with Aparna, the reactions that she was having, I couldn't
rough.
buy. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I felt like some of this stuff was so over the top. What's his name was doing?
No, Todd.
Todd.
Yeah, which is funny because he's usually the one that's over the top.
Yeah,
so I thought it was
he
interesting.
was saying outrageous things to her, and he would like scream to her at one point, and she didn't get upset. And I'm like, that was the only time. Again,
I needed a reaction.
I need some reaction. I felt that she needed to act more. I think she's a comedian. I'm not.
I
entirely
believe
clear.
that she is an actual comedian.
Okay,
I just
because they
don't
set
know
the
her
whole
very
thing.
well.
It seemed like at the beginning of the show they set it up where there was going to be a porn star or something on. I'm like, okay, here we go again. We kind of felt that, but then it turned out it was Aparna with a guy who went to see a porn star stripper, and I was like, oh, that was the tie-in. So I didn't quite grasp the whole scene.
It was one
but
of
her
those...
reactions seemed a little off to me. Like I would have been a little bit more upset, and she stayed calm in every scene.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, even when she was like upset about the fact that her so-called boyfriend of 2 weeks cheated on her with the stripper.
Lock it down.
They're like, yeah. I was like, stop.
Lock it down.
And the fact that she was like, yeah, he slept with a stripper. And it was like, wow, you're so upset. My goodness. But like, it didn't matter because the fact that like they didn't really talk about it because she showed up and she said, fine, let him do the proposal. I'm going to dump him on national television. I was like, that's huge. That's messed up. And all over the internet, you can find people who say no, or they walk out, or whatever.
Production loves that stuff, though. They don't care. Like, dude, you go ahead and do it.
Some of them are like, they plant those just to make them viral.
Because it does
and
help
makes me
ratings.
sad. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. But
and FYI,
yeah.
The word dump, which you just used, came up a lot during the episode.
Well,
I think
of the
yeah, of course. So they tied that in constantly all the way to the end. I know.
Whatever, but sadly, so it went through. Todd was super excited because he got to do a viral video. He produced it, and I feel bad because I had to fast forward through it because the whole they're going to dinner town, and he was like moaning and eating, and I was
that
like,
was weird.
goodbye, DVR. And I couldn't do it, but like. I felt bad because I wanted to know more about her and to actually see her set, but we didn't get to do that because we ran out of time.
In a way.
Yeah, I mean, like the most that we saw was when Michael J. Fox got shot out of a cannon. Like that was like cool because they had the setup for it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I felt bad, but I mean, again, she gets to go to dinner town with Jimmy.
They all seem to have dinner and then sex after,
or at the same time. I don't know what was happening in that whole example.
I won't go there.
Weird.
I won't go there.
Yeah, let's not do that. But anyway, you know where we can go to? Go Fund Yourself. Let's do that. So that was episode 9, which was our favorite because we had Paul Rudd, Wendy Williams, and we had a masturbating polar bear that we didn't
Never showed up.
Yeah,
well,
that was unfortunate.
what's the deal with that?
Don't mention it if it's not going to come up in the episode.
Did that happen before? I felt like they had something like that
it was
before,
something weird.
and
I
it
can't
never
remember
happened.
What it was.
It felt like the same thing. Maybe it's just to get viewers.
Don't tease me. Is all I'm saying. Okay. If you're gonna give me 3, I'm like, if you're gonna give me 3 guests, give me 3 guests.
I know they usually do.
Even though we don't really need to see a mask.
There usually is an animal though on the show.
Yeah, I mean it's normal, like any late show host. Yeah, I think it was an animal last time. I think. Yeah,
there's animals like the last few episodes.
Yeah.
There was the cats. There was some other.
What was the one? What was the one that we had the sloth?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was like with oh gosh, I forgot his name. But yeah, I don't know.
I feel Jimmy really is a takeoff of Jimmy Fallon. If you look at that background, the way he throws his arm out, like he points,
and also the fact that he wanted to sing. Too on
and he
episode
literally
8.
said you're ripping off Jimmy Fallon, not Jimmy Kimmel,
Jimmy Fallon,
or anybody else.
So maybe he's trying to be Jimmy Fallon.
I just feel that is the takeoff. That is the spoof. So
I can see that. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. So for Wendy Williams, because we'll talk about her.
Oh, your nails are so pretty. So go like the Wendy Williams thing, so we can all see your nails.
I don't know if you can see it.
How
in the
you
camera.
doing? Oh, they're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I tried for the holidays.
So Wendy Williams.
So yeah, Wendy Williams comes in, and we had Malik back, who's the sassy.
I love me some Malik.
Agent. It was really nice. She was putting on some crazy facial expressions today.
She fits that character so well. She works it. And I love to see her in the scenes.
I don't know how much time has spanned, or maybe it's just because the holidays went by so quickly and I just wasn't paying attention. It looks like Malik, the actress, lost a little bit of weight, like in her face.
She's looking really good.
She's looking really good.
Yeah.
But Wendy Williams comes in, and of course she brings her entourage of wigs because she can't go anywhere without her wigs.
Now, was she wearing a wig when she came on?
Ooh, I don't
when she
know.
came into the room, it looked so real.
I'm gonna say yes.
I could not tell. It looked like a real, It
looked nice.
When we watch it, the colors are different here, but it looked.
Screens.
It did look kind of natural and real to me. So who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, she always looks fabulous, natural or not. So, Penny apparently is very obsessed with wigs because.
I like the word obsessed. So I'm glad you used that.
There's no other way to put it.
Obsessive compulsive.
Oh my God, she loves wigs because she had Cap. Oh crap! What was it?
She had Cradle Cap. Now,
Cradle Cap.
I busted out laughing when she said that, and then she said she had a breached birth, so it's like she was a preemie baby. She said, on top of not having any hair for like 16 years or something crazy.
Like that. I think it was like
I know.
6 years.
I was watching a reaction. It was so funny because then my immediate thought is Wendy, of course, is going to say, "Here, darling, you can have the wig now." Because she doesn't want to get Cradle Cap, even though you probably can't get it that way. But who would dare want to risk losing their hair, right?
No, especially Wendy Williams of all people. She's like, no. And also the fact that it's true, you're not supposed to be like trying on people's wigs because you don't know what's going on people's scalps.
I don't know the whole thing, but it sounds normal to me that you wouldn't want to share that. It's like
no, I mean I think like I know some people like that do drag that will like kind of dress me, like I've gone over to their shows and like we'll play dress up or something like that, like after the show's done, just to see what wig, like an obnoxious wig would look on me.
Any famous drag queens that we know?
No. I wish.
I like how they started the show when he says, the security guard says, I used to work at a dump next to a drag queen bar.
Yeah, so he just find all these wigs.
That was hilarious. He's finding all these wigs in the dump. That was hilarious.
I would love, I mean, not to work at a dump, but to grab all these wigs and fix them and have them for myself. I want a wig collection so badly.
You can get them at the costume stores. There's so many hair.
Yeah, I can't even deal with my own hair, let alone trying to make a wig look nice and put it on my head. I'm lazy.
I've tried a few on for like Halloween and stuff, and it never doesn't look. It doesn't look right.
Your hair is so fabulous. You shouldn't hide it.
Thank you, darling.
Come on.
Thank you.
But Wendy Williams doesn't matter. She has real hair wigs and fake wigs and whatever. Like it's just she hasn't literally an entourage of wigs.
It's like Mariah Carey coming in with boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff, and getting it all set up. So it was
Mariah
cute,
Carey.
and you knew instantly, and the music helped. She's gonna go for the wigs.
Oh yeah, like as soon as
and she did.
Malik left because she wanted to go find Daniel Craig, his English ass and whatever. It was adorable.
At Nobu.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to go to Nobu.
Yeah, they have one here too, right?
They do?
I feel like they do.
They do. I want to go. I mean, I'll be broke as hell, but I still want to go.
It's like sushi or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they have one in LA too.
But yeah, the ominous music of her like going towards the wigs.
You knew it was gonna happen.
Like, come on.
Like, Penny, don't do it, and she did. She did.
I love it, but I love that Wendy Williams didn't get mad at her. She was just like, oh, that's made out of human hair, and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Well, when Wendy came in, you actually jumped. I mean, you were on edge.
I was freaking out. I thought Wendy Williams was gonna give her the shit. I was like, no.
She was so nice. And so she didn't offer her the wig right away, but she's, try in this red one. So now she's all in for 2.
Oh, she looked great.
But she did. Yeah, she really did look good.
Girl. And I have a terrible terrible but also awesome love for redheads. Like that's
Really?
my type.
I love your new red
Thank you.
color.
Yeah,
it is so pretty. I
brought
noticed
it back for
it
the wedding.
last night
Yeah.
for Beverly Hills Housewives, and I'm like, yes, I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah,
it's so you.
because my grandma's like, please don't have purple hair during the wedding. I was like, fine. Red? And she's like, sure.
I go a little auburn in fall.
Yeah,
A
it's
few
just
episodes.
nice, you know,
I feel
around
like-
this time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I darken it now and then, but yeah.
I think your hair looks lovely.
Thank you. I just got a haircut with the
Yeah, no.
best stylist here in LA.
I like it. Oh my gosh, where were we? Oh, but yeah. So
So-
pretty much, Penny becomes this new confident woman because now she's a ginger and she looks fantastic.
She's got some moxie, she's got some anger and attitude, and she, you know, totally supports Stacey moving on to daytime television, which I believe we may be segueing into next season where she is working for Wendy Williams.
Well, hold on to those for predictions because I have predictions too about
good,
that.
okay.
But Wendy Williams does ask Stacey, "Hey, you should be running this place," and Stacey's like, "Oh no, because I didn't have sex with Jimmy, so I'm never gonna be running this place." And so she asks Stacey to be part of the Wendy Williams show, which you
Yes.
know Chris and I really want to be a part of. And
I could do news and gossip, I could do weather, I could do celebrity hot topics.
I would just be there to just tell her how beautiful she is.
We've
every
had
day.
people that have worked here, I won't mention names, that have Wendy has booked. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there. I'm very good at hot topics. Yeah, I've done it for The Talk and some other shows. So
That's awesome.
I love doing it. I love doing it. Okay, enough about us. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, so I forgot about our other guest who's hot as hell, Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I've always thought he was a cutie pie. I forgot who Haley was in love with.
She actually said she liked Jizz Bucket last
Did
week.
she?
I was
she did.
so
Of course
surprised.
she did.
I
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
really? Are you being serious with
Mark
me?
Cuban.
Oh, Mark Cuban
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you
Oh,
so much.
Josh,
you're amazing.
you are
yes. So,
a super
you know
fan
how
of
much,
our-
you know how much Haley loves Mark Cuban? I love Paul Rudd so much.
Really?
I think he's hysterical. Ever since
Awesome.
Wet Hot American Oh my god, I'm forgetting. Wet Hot American Summer? Please say I did that
Did he
right.
do Ant-Man or somebody that looked like him?
He did Ant-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's current.
No, with all that
I didn't really.
all
I
that
wasn't
stuff.
into that much. So I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Paul Rudd. I think he's hysterical, and I love him. Do terrible things to him. I love you, honey.
I was gonna say you need to add that in there.
I love you, my fiance. So yeah, so pretty much he was there because he was promoting his boring, he says boring shit. And I love how he says that about his stuff, even though clearly that's not what you're supposed to say when you're promoting a movie.
Exactly.
But Todd, because every time we have a morning meeting before the show, Todd has to open his big mouth and talk about what he has to talk about today.
And it usually is something scheming on his part. That's
He's always scheming.
Producing. So when he brought up the GoFundMe thing, I thought,
Oh my God.
is this Jimmy's thing or is it him? So I'm watching the whole episode.
I think it is him. I agree with you.
Okay, because I'm like trying to figure out through the whole thing, and obviously it can be his whole thing.
Yeah, and I
because we
think
never
Jim-
hear
and
from
then-
Jimmy. We don't really know for sure what's
Yeah,
going
Jimmy, but this was a good example, or last week was a good example because the fact that when he was telling Jimmy about the proposal, he was reacting to the game, not to Todd. But Todd was just like, whatever. He said yes, I think. I don't know, whatever. And I think Jimmy
Right.
just lets him do whatever
So we
he
kind of
wants.
knew that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's how it is. I think that's just going to be our recurring theme is that Todd just gets to do whatever he wants because he's Jimmy's friend.
Exactly.
So
So he's going around the office trying to collect money.
even though Jimmy makes $6 million a year, but he's asking for donations,
I know.
aka investments, into his own biopic. Yes, I said it. He is trying to fund his own biopic, Jimmy, to get it made. And apparently it's going to be an indie film, and it's going to be different.
Because he already
than
sold the rights
other
to the real film.
Because he already sold his rights to his actual biopic. Please kill me now.
That was funny.
They asked Paul Rudd to play Jimmy, and he was like, no, that's boring.
I love how Stacey, it comes on so strong, and she's like, no, I am not going to do this, this, and this, and this, and this.
But I love it because he said that he was considering it because the most interesting thing about Jimmy is that he used to be in Scientology and he left. And they're like, oh yeah, we're not talking about that.
Exactly, we're not going there.
It's not going to be in the movie. It's going to be talking about a stand-up comedian who became
but at
a
that
late night
point,
TV show
she has
host.
completely flipped, and she's like all in now. And she does this on a lot of episodes where she convinces the guests, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
But she is part of talent. That's what she's supposed to do.
She's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So she turns it around. She does her job, and she actually tries to convince him to do it.
But the funny thing is, she didn't actually convince him to do it. We had a different helper who convinced him. So Paul Rudd is getting ready for makeup to get on the show because he's just they were not rehearsing, but talking about how they're going to introduce his movie. And he's like, I love how Stacey's like, Jimmy hasn't seen it, so can you just tell me the questions and I can tell Jimmy? And I love how he's like, no, just tell Jimmy, just tell him I was great in it, and it was great.
I know.
And it's funny because that does happen sometimes on talk shows. You can hear it. It's like, I saw it. It was great. You were great in it. Like, you can see it. It's so funny. That's why I was like,
yeah, I love that.
I think the only person who doesn't do that is Graham Norton. I think he's the one that actually goes into he goes into like depth when he talks. Wow. But I think he also goes to see it because sometimes the actors find him at the premieres or the screeners or whatever, and like they're like, oh, I'm glad you saw it, or we saw it together and it was fun. So
it's hard. It's really hard.
I don't blame them.
I mean, a lot of people think people like Johnny Carson and Jay Leno just went right on, and Jay Leno said, no, when you're doing a night after show like this, we are rehearsing for hours. Not only do the jokes they start writing the jokes.
Sometimes they film those
that
early.
Night. Yeah, there is a little, video packets and stuff like that. What they make, like Dancing with the Stars, they'll pre-film stuff, and they're rehearsing the jokes before they go on, and they're rewriting them. And I think that's one of the reasons they use the cue cards is because there's changes all the time. Yeah. So it is a lot of work. And I heard a lot. I don't know if I should go there, but Jimmy Fallon, I heard, is just holding on. He is just holding on. It is a lot of work, and they said if you Google it, you can see all the stuff going on. That's
unfortunate.
I'm not saying it, but they're saying allegedly he's drinking a lot, and it's hard. It's a hard job.
I mean, yeah, I can see Jimmy having a hard time because I've been to a bunch of Kimmel stuff because I knew someone who was on his crew, and they used to get us free tickets all the time, and they film early. Like for people who decide to come out here in LA to do any
when
late
do they
night,
film Jimmy Kimmel? Because I'm always like want to walk on the street and do the man on the street.
They usually film around 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then obviously it airs later tonight. And sometimes just like with Ellen, sometimes you're taping stuff that's not going to be aired for like weeks. So it depends sometimes. And so it's really funny. It's like if you go to like do like The Voice or something like that, you don't know your episode's not happening until either next season or like weeks from now. So you're like, you have to just kind of look for it. And they don't give you an update. They're not like, yeah, your episode's going to air on this day. And sometimes they do. It really just, the whole late night talk show or just talk shows in general, they're a weird animal that you have to be a part of. But being in the audience is a whole different experience.
I want to do Ellen for All the Gifts, and I know that's just down the street.
That's hard. I've signed up for years.
Really? I saw it come up, and it was during the Christmas season, and they had openings, which is rare in itself, where you get to pick the dates in December. Like, we have the dates open.
But you have to wait for them to email you back.
You have to wait for them back, and I put that the person that I was going to bring may need, special access or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I didn't get a return. Nope. So I thought, okay, maybe that was it. I don't know.
No. It's just because they get like thousands of people during the 12 days of Christmas.
Okay. I checked it out this year and I was already too late. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's rough. Some people usually try to, as soon as it comes available, they immediately sign up for it. Yeah. It's rough. And they usually try to get people from out of town.
Yeah.
Just because it's a better thing.
I heard they overbook, and when you drive by Warner Brothers, you can see.
Oh yeah, I used to be over there. Really? I've been in the overflow twice, and I've definitely been.
It's in like the parking lot or something, right?
Yeah, it's in the parking structure, and then you get moved into a different room. Twice. They make you wait twice. Yeah.
Now, once you get moved into the special room, then you know you're going on, right?
No.
Are you serious?
So there's three things. Okay. You get the parking lot one where you wait.
And that's like no guarantee thing.
No guarantee at all.
So you get there early.
Yeah.
That's like Dancing with the Stars. Get there early. Okay.
Yeah, unless they tell you, okay, you didn't come in, you didn't get to go the first time you went.
Yes.
So for next time, for sure, you'll get into the room, which actually happened.
That happened to me.
But the third time I didn't get in. I got into I was in the overflow. So you start in the parking lot. You go into they count you up, and then they bring you into the room. Whoever can fit into the actual room, they stay, and then there's like a gift shop room, which couches and stuff, and there's big screens.
Ellen comes spend out. Money.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much what that's there for. But they give you free water and snacks and stuff. But like Ellen will come up and wave to you guys and be like, "Hey, thanks, thanks guys for coming." Oh yeah, like there's like a stair, like there's stairs, so that if there's like a seat or two that's available, they'll come down and be like, "We need 2 people." Okay, and then they'll bring somebody up. But that's
for
just,
what? To meet her?
No. No, to be in the audience. So if there's like, you know, stuff like that, unless like.
Well, how did they fill the audience to begin with? Is that with people that were already VIPs or something?
And mostly just whoever decides to sign up early, or
because they
have, like,
take
a
more than
special
2
thing.
people from the group.
Usually, yeah. I mean, yeah, like obviously they fill up as much as they can in the actual audience.
Okay.
And then sometimes people don't show up, or like whatever.
They just keep taking.
Because you get guaranteed tickets, and then you get standby tickets.
Yeah.
And if there's people who just didn't show up, standby would get in there, or something like that, or maybe they.
At that point, you don't have your camera, right?
Oh yeah, no. You get checked for security before you even get into the overflow room.
If I saw like Ellen's like hi, I would be taking pictures.
Well, no, if you're in the overflow room, you can't. But if you're in the actual audience one, they give you about anywhere between 20 to 45 minutes to take pictures.
Wow.
And they have like a hashtag and stuff. So for like
they should do that. Yeah, I like that.
It's nice. So that, and then as soon as they're like, all right, guys, camera time's over. Please put your phones away. Put them on silent or turn them. Or they usually tell you to turn them off, but you know most people won't do that.
I know.
And they're like, okay, and then and then they go through the show and then what you're supposed to do. Ellen usually kind of peeks out sometimes just to say hi, and then she goes back to her position, and then
And you get gifts like every episode, right?
Sometimes.
Seems like it.
No,
Okay.
yeah. It depends. If there's a musical artist, you'll usually get their album for free. If there's a book, you usually get that one for free. And then obviously for the big ones are usually the hardest to get into, like Halloween, Valentine's Day, and Christmas.
Same with the other shows.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous. But yeah, Kimmel, I got like a free stress ball or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Chelsea lately gave away like mugs, I think, at one point. That was kind of nice.
Where was she filming?
She was in Universal for a little bit.
She was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
what was the whole debacle with why she was dropped from the network?
I don't know.
Something happened.
I love how we're talking about other late night hosts on a late night sitcom.
It's apropos. It's apropos.
No, it's true. But yeah, I don't know what happened with her. I think she just got sick of it, and then she just kind of acted out, and then that's where that went. I have no idea. That's
she
just
seemed
from
like
what
she
I
was
read.
just holding on for a long time because she literally, I was watching the show, she said I'm on Xanax or some other alleged drugs.
She was on a lot of stuff.
She was on a lot of things she said, and drinking maybe, and all
I feel
that.
like a lot of late night.
Yeah.
Actually, no, a lot of comedians, which are usually late night TV hosts, do drink and do drugs and stuff a lot because that's where they get their best material. Like not all of them, obviously, but a majority of them.
You're in that atmosphere. I mean, you're performing at clubs, and the only way to become a talk show host seems to be stand up. I mean,
from what I've seen so far, unless you're just a celebrity in general, like Queen Latifah. Like I don't even know what happened with her talk show.
I don't know. They get them, they come and go, but
I think Steve Harvey's the only one I know who's pretty pure to my understanding.
Never did stand up.
No. I meant like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know. But
yes,
I felt like he did stand up. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
He did with Cedric the Entertainer. I think Bernie Mac was part of that. And
what is Cedric doing lately?
Just being a dad.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know all this?
His kids used to go to my high school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
what
we
high
used to
school was
see him,
that?
Faith Baptist Church and School in Canoga Park.
Oh.
So like we would see him come to football games and stuff, and he would wave.
See, I gotta draw this out of our hosts because you guys want to know a little background. You don't want to just talk.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we try to entertain as we go along.
But yeah, so Paul Rudd apparently got inspiration. Going back to celebrities, Paul Rudd actually got inspiration as the character Paul Rudd in this show because Phil, the security guard, came in and was like, "I have a pimple on my nose." And I wanted to cover it up with my glasses.
There's a Saturday Night skit
on top of my glasses.
that had somebody like that talk just like that. And
I have no idea, but I know what you're talking about.
It was like an androgynous. You couldn't tell if a person was male or female. And I feel like they're kind of picking up on that, or it's that same type of character where it was I'm just Phil or something like that. Where the name even you couldn't tell if it was a boy or girl name. Phil is obviously a man's name, but it was just like that. You guys probably remember. Put it in the comments below if you get a chance. But he seems very much like that. And he even said, I'm barely identifiable as a male or something on this episode.
Yeah, in the last episode, I was like, huh?
Weird. Okay.
But yeah, so Phil, our security guard, who was like my least favorite character, pretty much.
Wait a minute. What's his name? Loves the character. Paul Rudd loves it. He's like, I can play this. I want this guy.
He wants an award because he wants to do like the Gilbert Grape kind of role, and I was like, this is not a good way to do that. So pretty much Phil comes in later on, Paul Rudd says that he will do the Jimmy biopic if he gets to play Phil.
Exactly.
And I was like, wait, you want to play Phil in the biopic? And he's like, yeah, with the glasses, the pimple, the uniform, the whole thing. And I'm like, sure. And Stacey was like, fine.
Can you get an Oscar for that? I know. She's all in. Anytime they agree to anything, she closes the deal.
But I love that also, speaking of closing the deal, Todd was able to get investors from our round chef and Randy.
I was thinking, in my mind, what would they give? And I'm thinking $25.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to give them.
So when they said $2,500, I'm like, well, really? You have that much money?
But it wasn't dollars, it was Bitcoin, which is like digital currency. It's digital currency.
I had to ask you, and you looked it up. Right, okay.
Yeah,
you knew.
I knew it was digital currency, but I didn't know what it was used for.
Like gambling maybe online or something weird like that, or I don't know. It's tied to the internet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like physical money.
Right. So it's not real.
It's weird. Yeah,
it's not real money.
You would have to actually read it because I can't explain it. It's strange.
But he accepted the offer. He liked it. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
he's all in.
Todd also doesn't know what the hell Bitcoin is. Dummy.
I thought they were saying big coin.
No, Bitcoin. B-I-T coin. And
so Todd accepts it. Yeah.
Anyway,
he's
like
happy.
Bitcoin is just like whatever.
It's that.
Yeah, it's this waffle thing. But yeah, so pretty much Paul Rudd invites Phil back to his dressing room to talk, and then all of a sudden he's like, would you like to come to my home and just hang out? And I love how immediately I was with Phil. I was like, no,
don't do it.
No, Phil. And he's just like, you're not gonna put me in a well, are you? And he's like, no, I'm not gonna abduct you. I just wanted to get to know you because obviously he wants to play him as a role. And I was just like,
at first I thought you were saying no, like Paul Rudd, don't invite him, don't invite him.
No, I was thinking like, I was scared that Paul Rudd was going to become creepy and be like, yes. And that's why it was really funny when he was like, I want to get to know you, I want to get in your skin, but not Silence of the Lambs in your skin. And I was like, stop digging.
I know, exactly.
And and then he stood up and I forgot how tall the actor who plays Phil.
Yes, and I didn't get the joke until I watched the episode again because it was, what is it called? Marfan disease or something? Let me see.
Not Marfan. I don't know.
Marfan.
Yeah, Marfan
something
disease.
Like that. So we looked it up and he was like, oh, that makes sense. He's really
tall.
Which
he has he has long fingers and I'm assuming the actor doesn't have it, but I know that's what it is. It's people who are very, very tall. They have hard time seeing tall. And he has glasses. That's why I think it's really funny that he brought that up because I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then I looked at the more symptoms and it's like a genetic disease or something like that makes people kind of like bigger than what they should be.
Giants or something.
Yeah. And then that's how the episode pretty much ended because there wasn't a third option because we didn't get a polar bear. So
we want that polar bear. Yeah. We got to bring it back for now. Well, do we want it? No. You probably don't.
No. That's okay.
I don't know if it's real. There probably is something. Okay,
we don't need it. We can just skip over.
I can read your mind.
But that was it. But for next week, which is the season finale, it looks like Stacey is trying to get an interview for the Wendy Williams show and trying to come in. And then there's like 4 or 5 guests, and then it's pandemonium at Jimmy's. Apparently
there was a quick cut to a girl, and it was like, I want to say Jennifer Lopez, but it's not. It's like that.
No, it's the other lady. I can't remember.
Lopez is the last name though, right?
It's not Maya Angelou, is it?
No, it's Lopez something.
I don't know.
And I'm like, great. I was just thinking about her a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I worked on a pilot with her, and I thought it was an extremely funny show, and it never got picked up. And I'm like, what happened to her? And she looks like she's gonna be on the finale, so I'm excited.
So we'll see her, and we'll see all the guests and stuff like that. But pretty much that's it. That was our entire season, and so we will do it real quick because we only have like a few minutes left.
As long as I get the cued music.
Well, yeah,
maybe.
We're gonna do predictions. Thank you, good sir. Thank you, Josh. I'll let it play.
I almost feel like so Star Trek-y.
It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite things. Yes. So you were predicting that Stacey's going to stay on Wendy Williams until season 2 because we got renewed. I feel
like they're going to segue somehow into daytime coverage, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just going to be for one episode and show. I like what you said in a way. I'll let you do your predictions, but I felt like maybe we're just going to have a whole new season of her covering a real host and what it's like behind the scenes. I think Wendy Williams would be game for it. I think she'd do it, but now I'm rethinking, like, no, maybe you're right. So tell us your predictions.
No, I mean, the only reason I said it was just because it would make sense for them to do that, but like I also like the fact of just seeing Stacey trying to deal with problems while she's on the Wendy Williams show, but trying to do Nightcap or doing both.
I'd watch.
Because like technically
that.
she could do daytime and nighttime. She would just be the most tired person in the world. Like that would just suck. But my prediction was that she would get the job with Wendy Williams, and the Nightcap team would try to be like, yeah, we don't need her, and then they would be like, oh my god, we need her because everything's going to shit, and now we have to go get her back.
Right. I think that makes sense.
I mean, it doesn't. It can go either way.
They'd have to change the name of the show, right? Because it wouldn't be a Nightcap show.
No, because that's the name. I think that's the name of it.
It's a night show.
Yeah, because it's called Nightcap.
So that makes more sense.
It's gonna be called Daycap. But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it would be interesting if they decided to do both, where like she's still working at Wendy Williams, but like Nightcap is like on fire pretty much. They're like, Stacey, you gotta help us. She's like, I can do both. I can do both, it's fine. And then just the pandemonium that would happen.
Would she really want to go back there at night?
No, but like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like because she's been doing Nightcap for so long and she's a workaholic, I feel like that's the type of person that she would be. She's like, I can do both, it's fine. Yeah. And then like it would just be a hot mess. And that's what the show is.
Just like ours now.
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't a hot mess. We stayed calm, collected, cool. We gave you a lot of background every single
I did talk
episode.
a lot. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? I feel
babbled.
Just breaking down a show, anybody can, I don't know if anybody wants to sit through that. So I like that you bring in your real life stuff that's apropos to the show, and me, and we bring in other things and we try to entertain you guys as we go along. So I enjoy that part.
I love it. But we will entertain you more next week with our full panel. I promise. Haley will be back. She's not feeling well, so definitely hit her up on Twitter and send her your well wishes and all that kind of stuff. But while we're waiting until next week for that finale, because I know you have a bunch of shows also happening at AFTERBUZZ, tell us where they can find you.
If you go to my Twitter, you can check out all the shows I'm covering and get great celebrity pics as well. So AKA Golden Boy, and tweet me something and I'll retweet it out, as well as chrisvalentine.la for all your celebrity interviews.
Sweet. And you can find you can find Haley at Haley with 2 Y's O'Connor, or Haley Connor, because if you don't put 2 Y's, you're not 2 Y's. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry, Haley. But you can find me, Alexis Torres, all over the social media, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all that good stuff, at atorres890. That's ATORRES 890. Speaking of GoFundMe, I have a GoFundMe for my wedding.
We didn't talk about it.
No, it's okay. It's real quick. I have one for my wedding because me and my fiance are working 2 jobs, and we're trying to fund it ourselves. But there are some things that obviously, because weddings are very expensive, that we asked for help.
So where do you find the GoFundMe on Twitter? And by the way, if you tweet something nice, I'll retweet it. Go ahead.
It's fine. It's just GoFundMe.com. I think it's GoFundMe.com/BecomingPlumley 2017. I'll tweet it. It's fine.
Becoming
Plumley, PLUMLEY 2017.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's fine. But like, I appreciate the sharing. You don't have to donate. It's all good. But anyway, guys, we can't wait to see you guys next week for the season finale for Nightcap on PopTV here at AfterBuzz TV, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Ooh.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.